Hey everyone, it's Miranda. I am here today with a presentation on the 7 dimensions of self-care. So the system of self-care. Um, I'm assuming everyone's kind of feeling the effects of the major shifts and adjustments that we've had to make, considering the circumstances in the world. So I think it's important that we really focus on our self-care. And if you find yourself, struggling or looking for new ideas on self-care, then I hope this presentation does you well. And I would love to hear any feedback or ideas, additional ideas from those who choose to watch this presentation. So I hope you enjoy, and here we go. So the first I guess, dimension of self-care is the physical self-care. So physical self-care involves actions that directly relate to our body's state of wealth. So some ideas are preparing a healthy meal for yourself, nourishing ourselves, right? Do a yoga class, go to the gym, take the stairs instead of the elevator. So many different ideas on staying physically active. An example for myself is my husband and I bought some new to us bicycles on the weekend, and we've biked quite a few kilometers already, and we feel really good. It just gets us out of the house, gets us exercising and doing something together, um, all while staying away from others in the community. Set a goal to drink 2 liters of water per day. If you research the importance of drinking water, it does so many good things to our body. Not only does it hydrate us, obviously, but has a lot of benefits, for our skin, um, and just so many other health benefits. So set a goal to drink 2 liters of water per day. I know a lot of people will mark bottles with the time on it, and they fill it up twice a day, a big bottle, and their goal is to drink through that big bottle twice in the day, and they know that they've gotten their 2 liters. It's really not that hard, but we just get caught up in what we're doing during the day and we forget. There have been days where it's 8 o'clock at night and I realize I haven't had any water. So it's easy to forget, but also very, very important for us to maintain that. Going to bed early. A lot of people are, what they call night owls or night hawks. You go to bed late, you get up early. Eventually, it will catch up, right? So, trying to practice going to bed early at a good time and getting a good night's rest. Take notice of signals from your body. So listen to your body, right? We don't feel pain or feel discomfort for no reason. It's our body trying to tell us something. And another example is just moisturizing your skin. So these are just ideas, right? So if you have any additional physical self-care ideas, please let me know. Okay, moving on to mental self-care. So the mind is our private terrain of thoughts. I love that saying. At the end of this presentation, I've listed the resource that I got all of this information from. It's a great page, and there are also going to be some links attached to this presentation for you to take a look at. Really, really good stuff. So what's mental self-care? Here are categorized activities that lead to a healthy and positive mental state. These are ideas that help us think more positively and stimulate inspiring images. So some ideas of mental self-care is practicing a positive affirmation, reading a book, playing brain training games. There are so many like apps or even there are book games like Sudoku, right? Or just word searches or different things like that. Reflecting on a specific choice or action. I'm going to encourage you to reflect on a specific positive choice or action and really think about it. Observing thoughts or meditation. Challenging ourselves to say thank you instead of sorry. Very often we say sorry a lot. So challenge yourself to say thank you instead of sorry. You'll notice a big difference. give yourself a break and take a digital detox. So this weekend was definitely one for me. Lately, I've been in front of a computer or my cell phone a lot lately with, isolating and working from home. So it's really, really important that we give ourselves that time away from our digital lives. And writing or journaling, right? So just writing these things down, whether it's like a fictional story. I know I have referred to the 64 million artists earlier, I believe it was last week, as a resource. They were doing for 2 weeks, every day there was a different activity, and today's was a 50-word short story, whether it's fiction, nonfiction. So doing things like that, right? Okay, so next, our emotional self-care. So I'm just going to remind everyone that emotions are very complex. We are all wired very differently. So, what might work for you, make you feel emotionally supported, may not work for somebody else. So some ideas for emotional self-care are to mindfully observe without judgment. I am definitely a watcher. I love people watching. I just watch actions, interactions. I watch a lot. I really do observe. And I find that when I am observing without judgment, I find that like I'm just so at peace. I'm not really thinking or feeling anything. I'm just observing, almost like a meditation kind of, right? Um, Use an art form to express your emotions or feelings. So there are so many different ways to be artistic. Find a way that works for you and use that as an outlet to express your emotions or feelings. Mindfully focus on a pleasurable emotion. So, that nostalgia, right? Look at an old photo that brings back a happy feeling and just be with it. Make a list of things that you are grateful for. Um, Kind of linking to, actually, if you look down, writing a journal. I'll come back to this. So take some time for yourself. By being alone, you can truly distinguish your own emotions compared to those of others. Write a journal, and follow a drama class. So the point that says make a list of things that you're grateful for and also writing a journal. I have purchased a journal. I believe I bought it on Amazon. And it's called One Line a Day. So it only has a small section for you to fill in something from your day. And I always challenge myself to keep it positive. So if I've had just a really crappy day and I'm just not feeling good and I just felt like my day was not really anything to be happy about, I really do challenge myself to pick out one thing that was positive from my day. So, you know, I had a bad day, but one thing that, I'm grateful for is, let's use my pets as an example. When I came home from work, my pets greeted me with unconditional love, right? So that I'm very grateful for, and that's a positive thing in my day. So challenging yourself to really dig deep and find those things that you're grateful for, or those positive things every day. Moving on to intellectual self-care. So your intellect is your capacity for thinking and acquiring knowledge. So what are some ideas for intellectual self-care? Some things like learning a new language. There is a really popular app that I use to learn Spanish, and I know a little bit of Spanish, not only from travel, but also from this app. It's called Duolingo. There is also probably thousands and thousands of books that you can get your hands on with learning a new language. Doing something for the first time, like a happiness challenge. And I believe there will be a link posted for that. Watching a documentary. I love watching documentaries or even TED Talk videos. They're usually short, between like 10 to 45 minutes. Really, really good stuff. You can just search TED Talk, and there are thousands of videos that you have access to. Thinking of multiple solutions to a problem. I tend to do that often, like after something's happened, though I'll think about different ways that I could have responded or different things that I could have done, which is a good thing. But sometimes it can, you can be hard on yourself. So don't try not to fall into that, but thinking of different solutions to a problem. It doesn't need to be a life problem. It could be any problem, right? And learn to play a musical instrument. Music is so, so good for the soul. Whether we're listening to it or playing it, learn to play a musical instrument. There are many instruments out in the world. Not all of them are extremely expensive, and there's so much access to learning music online now, which is really nice. Spiritual self-care. So similar to the mind, spirituality can be defined in many ways, and therefore there are numerous activities that you can do to improve your spiritual health. So not everyone is, can identify as a spiritual individual. That is okay. But those of you who do find spirituality very important to you, then here are some ideas. So prayer and meditation, attending services with like-minded others, going on a spiritual retreat, clarifying your values and priorities, initiating or joining meaningful discussions with others with respect towards each other. When spirituality kind of comes into play, that's when it's very easy for people to pass judgment. It's very important for us to respect everyone that we're conversing with if we are joining these discussions. Finding ways to contribute to the well-being of others, having respect for other people's spiritual values, reading literature like The Attached Soul touching quotes from Rumi, which you will see the link for this as well. I went through the quotes, and they're so uplifting. And I believe I attached one to this presentation as well. So there are probably some points in the spiritual self-care ideas list that you maybe didn't expect to be there. So really think about that and apply that to your life. So this is one of the quotes from Rumi. When you do things from your soul, you feel a river of joy within you. It's just a really nice quote that really stood out to me amongst all of the quotes that I read. So just think about that for a minute. When you do things from your soul, you feel a river of joy within you. So next, social self-care. So I don't know about you, but every time I see my partner, husband, close friends, or a total stranger just giving me a genuine smile, you're walking down the street and they give you a genuine smile, it makes me happy. But it makes me happy in a way that is completely different than other things that make me happy. So why is this? That is because it's not just me in the equation. This is involving another being. It's another life merging with yours. So think about that for a second. That's pretty powerful. So some social self-care ideas: doing volunteer work, giving someone a compliment, joining a club, playing a game with someone, or even joining a sports team, right? That also plays in with physical. Having a meaningful conversation, being a listener, having a family or friends dinner, and catching up with a relative through social media. Those are just some ideas. I'm sure there are many, many others. So please feel free to add that to the comments. Practical self-care. So some things we do aren't necessarily fun or directly related to an action of self-care, yet they can be. When this awareness shifts, we make things a whole lot lighter for ourselves. So some practical self-care ideas, things like changing your bed linens, doing your groceries, simplifying your to-do list. Sometimes we can get pretty carried away with our to-do list. We need to be easier on ourselves. Donating stuff you no longer use, right? It's not only lifting some weight off of your shoulders with getting rid of the stuff that you no longer use, but it's also uplifting because you are now donating it to those who need those things that you no longer use, right? So those are just some ideas. And there's also a link that I've attached. It's just some inspiration on cutting down on stuff, right? So basically like thinking like a minimalist does. So it's just a great resource if you find that you're wanting to cut down on some stuff in your home. And that is a wrap. So today is the day for a self-care challenge. So I'm going to challenge you to take one or more of the points that I've gone through today and try to apply that to your life today. If you do participate in the self-care challenge, I would love to hear how you felt. If it was challenging, if you know what emotions did you feel when you were doing this, and also your ideas, thoughts, feedback. So I hope you're all taking care of yourselves. I hope you're all staying safe. And I hope to see you all very soon. It's definitely been a big adjustment. So let's make sure that we're keeping our self care as a top priority, because we are all very, very important. And we're all in a position right now that is a little uncomfortable. So making sure that we up our game with our self-care is definitely important. I hope to hear from all of you. Feel free to send me a message or um, comment below, and I hope to chat with you all very soon. Take care.